Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good! Yowie wowie. Let me in.
What's up, everybody? Happy Labor Day to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Abby's Window. And listen, let's address the elephant in the room first, okay? We didn't see Windham on Saturday. We didn't see him yesterday. But my dear friends, that does not mean that we should give up hope. And we will talk about that this evening because we have a wide variety of things that are linked to Wyndham. So yeah, we'll talk about it. So, as always, I am joined by Jodie Gilly, our Abby, your Abby, everybody's Abby. Hello, Abby.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. How are you this evening?
Good.
Good, good.
We have a lot to unravel today.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot to talk about. So we'll get there. So let me welcome in some people. We got a lot of people here right now. So hopefully it doesn't take me 10 minutes to get through everything. So we've got OD Bars, Seven Fiend, James Grant, Shane Loki, Erase Your Mind, Cookie Kid on Fire, Dead Man Talking, Dalton Riley, Zeke Lane, Brandy Smith. What's up, Brandy? Chad Schrader, James Chadwick, Dylan McClure, Clay Gamble, Lucas Rogers, Sean Suslowitz. Let's see here. Christopher, the champ, is here. James Grant, Big Dan, Dave Olson, C Wrestling, John G, Diana, Khaled. What's up, Khaled? Rabbit Earl, Alicia P, Chris from Facebook, B Tazzy. What's up, Tazzy?
What's up, Jazzy?
Let's see here. Rare Kitty Balloonicorn. Still love that name. Callum Sains, what's up? Ron says I'm a new sub. Well, thank you for subscribing. We greatly appreciate it. Paul D. Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809. You better not, device. You better not. Corey, what's up, Corey? You think I'd learned by now. Okay. Oh gosh, it's giving me some crazy description on the screen. Jeremy Stewart, what's up? James Knight says hello. Got a lot of new people I don't recognize. So welcome to the channel, James Byrne. Yeah, come on. Let's get the likes up to like Seven Fiends said. Clay Gamble says, I just subscribed. Well, thank you too, Clay Gamble. Let's see here. Jameson Burns saying, and it feels so special also. Yeah, we're going to stop there. So anyone that comes in after the fact, we're going to give you a blanket hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us this evening. We got a lot of people in the house. Randy, Sam, what's up? All right, that's the last one, I promise. All right. So, Jody, I didn't know if you had anything briefly for Caleb's Corner this week or what you got going.
The usual, really. For Caleb, I will be seeing him this weekend in Nashville, Tennessee. It's going to be an awesome, awesome time. It's another bat show, meet and greet tickets. So he's got lots of presents coming his way, which I know he's excited about. He's seen a couple of them. So yeah, looking forward to seeing him live again in Nashville in 4 days.
There you go. 4 days. Jody will be seeing Caleb again, so that's awesome. And we know we know that's going to be an awesome experience for you. So, um, so we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the elephant in the room first. We mentioned this at the top of the show, but if you're a Windham fan, even if you're a casual wrestling fan, you heard a lot of reports and everything out there saying that he might come back this weekend. There was a lot of speculation out there, but he didn't come back this weekend. So again, that is what it is. So Jody, were you surprised or shocked that he didn't come back this weekend?
No,
Okay.
because kind of like we talked about before, I think the big point of that pay-per-view was to give Drew his moment. And even though he didn't win, he still got that beautiful moment. And I just think having Bray turn up at Clash would have just detracted from that. He deserved his moment.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I think that we're all hopeful
Mhm.
that would return. We were hopeful that he'd come back this weekend.
We're always
But
hopeful.
yeah, always hopeful. But um, but yeah, we did. Brandy gave us 99 cents. Thank you.
Thanks, Brandy.
We appreciate that. And I will say this too. Any super chats that we get for this week, I want to donate those to Joe Doring in Impact Wrestling. Um, he is fighting brain cancer for the second time. Joe beat it before. He's going to beat it again, and he's going to come back even stronger and better than ever. So we wish you well, Big Joe. And anything that we get this week in terms of super chats, we're going to find a way to donate it to Big Joe Doring from Impact Wrestling. So
Awesome.
so yeah. So all right, he didn't come back this weekend. We all want him to. Um, so let's let's talk about this then.
Then yesterday he breaks the internet.
He breaks the internet. First off, he breaks the internet by, let's say, he changes the bio, and I don't have that graphic with me, and I apologize, I didn't grab that. But he changed a part of his bio to say giant killer,
Mm-hmm.
and he has the circle there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and initially everybody kind of went, up in a hoopla, and then you realize that it was about football.
Yeah.
And you just sit there and you're like, that man is intentional.
Yes, he is very
So
intentional.
even though it was about football, it was still intentional.
And for those who don't know, he was talking about his alma mater, Troy University.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who they were going against this weekend, but it was a bigger Division I school, and yeah, he was referencing them. So the man knows how to capture the attention
He
of
does.
social media. So uh, all right, so then let's really get into the nitty gritty here. Um, let me look at a few of these comments real quick. Dalton saying I'm literally 3 hours from Troy.
Cool.
There you go. So then we get this. Are we ready for this,
Mm-hmm.
Jody? You think we're ready?
Oh, we're ready.
Okay. So on 9/3, which was Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
we get this GIF.
Not long after the pay-per-view ended.
Exactly. Not long after Clash at the Castle.
Mm.
And Jody, you want to tell folks where this is from?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you. My mind is still in a jumble.
It's from Highlander.
That's right.
So I want someone in the chat to discuss the significance, and James Grant has already done it. There can only be one. we, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It's what
Very-
do you think he's saying here?
I mean, he's very aware that there's nobody like him. Yes, you can draw those comparisons to Undertaker and all of that, but there's only one Wyndham. There'll only ever be one Wyndham. Nobody can do the things that he does.
Now, I appreciate you going there, but we got somewhere else that we're gonna go further down the rabbit hole.
We love going down rabbit holes
That's right.
as long as it's a rambling rabbit hole.
Yeah. So that so he puts that out there not long after the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And of course that got the social media channels ablaze.
It got him a DM from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
About breaking the internet.
Yeah, so it's again, it's one of those situations where he says anything, or in this case, see Russ.
You had to go there. Like, all right.
Oh man, that deserves a
Yowie wowie.
so poor rambling rabbit.
He always gets the short stick.
Yeah, he does. He does. Him and Friendship Frog. I feel, horrible for them, but it is what it is. But we get that, and then that gets people talking, right? And that gets the speculation going. What
Wyndham can't breathe on social media without it breaking the internet.
Right. So, and then Tazzy took that one another place. So,
gosh. Focus, people. Focus.
So that gives other people talking. And the next person that we're going to talk about is none other than friend of the show, Jason Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Because
he just had to reply.
Yeah. He just had to reply.
Which perpetuated the entire thing.
Yeah.
Which also earned him a message from me that said, your friend's going to give me a coronary. Or our friend's going to give me a coronary. So that is, I believe, a Queen song, isn't it?
From this?
Mm-hmm.
Someone in the chat let us know. Because at this point I was off of Twitter and I didn't have a chance to look all these up.
I believe that is a Queen lyric.
Okay. What it says, and I quote, "We've come to be the rulers of you all. I am immortal. I have inside me blood of kings. I have no rival. No man can be my equal. Hashtag the quickening." And according to Erase Your Mind, you are correct. It is from Queen.
Yeah. Interesting that he uses the word weave. We. So not I, it's we.
Yeah. So to back up a little bit, since we didn't have a chance to do this on last week's Abby's, we got reports that one Braun Strowman, Adam Shearer, whatever you want to call him, is returning to WWE. And of course, people start thinking about things, but you know what? Yeah, we'll get to that. Why not? We got some speculation about him returning, and also in response, he puts this out there. The last to fall were the buildings, distant and solemn, the gravestones for an entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That is a Dan Wells quote.
Dan Wells. And Dan Wells, I'm trying to remember who Dan Wells is. Is he a writer?
He wrote the Hollow Man poem.
Okay.
That's from the Hollow Man poem.
Okay. So Adam is out here breaking things down too. So let's pause for a minute and let's be honest. Like, we're not saying that he's definitely going anywhere, but something's going on. We'll just say that.
There's a
So,
lot of references in that Hollow Man poem,
mhm,
similar to Dante's Inferno. There's some Dante's Inferno references there. Um, like the first part of it, we are the hollow men, we are the stuffed men, leaning together, headpiece filled with straw. Our dried voices, when we whisper together, are quiet and meaningless as wind in dry grass or rat's feet over broken glass in our dry cellar. Shape without form, shade without color, paralyzed force, gesture without motion. Those who have crossed with direct eyes to death's other kingdom remember us, if not all, not as lost, violent souls, but only as the hollow men.
hmm,
A lot of we references
we
in there too.
a lot of we in there. So, you know, people really started to get going on this whole we thing. This whole, is there more to this? Are there others that are involved? And, you know, because we are who we are, because Jody who is who she is, because we all love Wyndham, you look out for things, and none other than Eric Redbeard had a reply as well.
Added fuel to the fire.
Added fuel,
Unwelcome surprises.
unwelcome surprises. He didn't say surprise,
Surprises. With
surprises.
a gif of Creature from the Black Lagoon,
Yes.
which is also interesting that he picked Creature from the Black Lagoon
Yes, very interesting.
because, one Mr. Tom Savini has a massive statue of Creature from the Black Lagoon in his backyard. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. I mean, and luckily, thanks to Jody, Joe and I have seen all of that, and we can confirm that that is the case.
He has a massive statue of Gilman in his backyard.
Hmm. So, all right, we've got the plural of several words. We got we in there. So,
And C Wrestling sent me this right before we started.
uh-huh.
You remember the tweet that Bray put out right after not long after he was released, about turning Rome to ashes? It says, "What do we do now? We wait for the right place. We wait for the right time. Then we turn Rome to ashes."
We.
We.
All right. So before we go to this final part, I want to get to a couple comments here. I see Joe has entered the building. What's up, Joe? And I want to say this too. So, if you're curious if the reports are correct and you think that Braun is going to return tonight, as it was reported, on this channel we are doing a watch along at starting at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be here. The crew will be here. Joe, Jody, Tazzy, and myself will be here this evening to do a watch along. So get our live reactions this evening at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. So James Grant says, I got a theory. If Braun is coming back tonight, if Eric and Wyndham are coming back also, how would y'all feel about a feud of Dexter Loomis versus the Wyatt family?
Bring it.
Do you like that?
I like it. Anytime that you put any of those three gentlemen together, I don't care who they go up against. I believe that we are, I will never say with 100% certainty because that's just not me, but I am 97% sure, confident that he's going to return to WWE sometime this month. And I think what I could see happening is this kind of going in phases. I don't think he shows up on Raw tonight. I think it's possible that this week we get Braun. Next week we get Rowan. And then the next week we get Bray. And I believe that we may be getting some kind of darker Wyatt family. Because, you know, there's a lot of this information about everything needing to be right in a certain way. And I think there's more to dig into that. I think it's right as in the only people that he would revisit that particular character, even if it's in a darker way, would be with Rowan and Braun, and maybe finishing what they didn't get to finish. They've got some unfinished business. And, you know, it's also a really good opportunity for them three together to pay tribute to Brody.
Yeah. Yeah. Now let me ask you this too. What if tonight we start if we do get Braun tonight and he kind of teases some things and then we, like you said, get Eric, what if we get a return, like if he is going to return to WWE, and I hate to even put this in the atmosphere, but I'm going to. What if we get a return at Extreme Rules, which is coming up? Do
I
you
would
think
love
it'd be
that.
do you think it'd be a random Raw like we hope, or do you think it'd be Extreme Rules if he's, you know?
I think it depends what the card for Extreme Rules is going to look like. I think it would be poetic for him to show up on the go home show before the pay-per-view. You know, along the way, we're getting, you know, Braun, Rowan, getting some teases here and there. I don't know, just some little. I think that groundwork, given all of the tweets and everything that happened yesterday, I think tonight's gonna start that road to him coming back.
Yeah, I a lot of comments here saying James Chadwick saying there's a lot of unfinished business. Um, Alexa Bliss Gamer saying it would be funny if Bray brought Rowan and Braun into the funhouse to meet the puppet.
And
That would be
there's,
pretty
you
cool.
know, even if they come back with this dark, you know, a darker Wyatt family, I think there's still times that we could see the Fiend and Funhouse Bray, and, you know, maybe the six is Bray can tap into any of those six characters whenever he wants.
Joe breaking some news here saying the rumors are there will be an overturned car at some point on the show, which will signal Braun's, which was a signature of Braun's Black Sheep character.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Wrestling Lane?
I did see that picture. There was a
You
picture
did.
floating around out there.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
What if he, you know, I don't know. Like if they come back as this darker Wyatt family, I don't think they're going to add anybody to it.
You think it'll just be those three?
Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, there's all that talk about it's got to be right.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way doing a Wyatt family would be right is with Braun and Rowan and being able to pay tribute to Brody. And I thought about too, remember Jason talking about, some of the Fiend outfits incorporating pieces from Brody.
From Brody, yeah.
We could see that too. And then we got Kyle adding fuel to that whole fire. Yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I want to read this last comment. 2 comments actually. Hanzo saying you cannot add anyone to that family. Having someone in Brody's place would be disrespectful. Wrestling Lane is asking you how you are feeling today, Jodie.
Great. I still have a tiny little bit of a cough left, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. It's maybe only a couple times a day.
And she sounds like Jodie.
I don't sound like I'm underwater anymore.
All right, so you said it. We're gonna get to it. We got 2 things. Well, no, a few things from Kyle. This is the first part. So the first tweet is he has heard your prayer and seen your tears. He will heal you. #restore. So yeah.
That earned him a message from me too.
Yeah.
I say, you're killing me, Smalls.
So again, what do you make of it? Because there's just so much of this stuff swirling around right now.
But it's the only time they've all done it together.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost sequentially. Bray started it, Jason added to it, then you get Rowan and Braun and Kyle, and it's the only time it almost felt planned. And I think it's the only time that I've ever felt like, obviously when Bray says anything on Twitter, it's intentional, but it's the first time that I feel like it was a collective planning.
Yeah. I mean, that it didn't. There are a lot of things, and I'm not one who necessarily believes in coincidences, but that's got to be some heckified coincidence.
It's too coincidental for them all to say similar things all at the same time.
All at the same time. I mean, like that's a lot of coincidence.
And then we have to talk about too what Triple H said about Bray.
Oh yeah, we're good. We're getting there. We're getting there. So then people started talking about the match, obviously, with Roman and Drew, and like who's left? Who's left for Roman, because he's beaten everyone. So this person says, didn't he beat the Fiend first? And Kyle responds, pin Braun, never Bray.
And I remember Bray commenting on something a few months ago about someone saying that Roman has beat the Fiend, and he replied and said, take my name off that shit.
True. He did.
So, he did.
He did. He said it. So then we get another tweet that Kyle responds to. And Graham Matthews says, Roman Reigns has no one left to face. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, and Randy Orton would beg to differ. And then Kyle says, oh, I can think of one. And that's where we play this. So.
And this all happened like at the same time.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there like, oh my gosh. And I will say, as much as I adore Bray, since his release, there really hasn't been any moment where I'm sitting there like, I'm 99.9% confident it's happening soon. It's always been like, yeah, it could happen. It might not happen. We don't really know. We'll have to wait and see. Now, it's different. I don't know. The whole situation feels different. Again, I'm not going to say 100% certainty, but I'm a hell of a lot more confident about him returning to WWE in the next month than I was.
That's fascinating that you're saying within the next month. That's fascinating. Yeah,
Obviously,
people
I
say,
don't know that for sure.
but you can speculate.
I can speculate 100%. Yeah. It may not be this month, it might be next month, but I think it's definitely going to happen sooner than we think.
Yeah. Joe adding more fuel to the fire. Guess what day Halloween falls on?
Monday.
Monday. Raw on Halloween.
See, I feel like that would be too predictable.
You feel like that would be too on the nose, like
Yep.
it would. Okay. So, but you know what would be cool is if he's returned by then,
Right.
and they do something dark and sinister on that day to officially announce who they're going after. If they
Yep.
all join together, I would love to see that.
Maybe before that, we just get like the Fiend used to do and just show up and attack people.
Mm-hmm.
And the Wyatt family used to do that too. They used to just show up.
Yeah. Zeke Lane already fantasy booking. I would love to see the Wyatt family versus Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's interesting about that is, and let me go ahead and ask this: Judgment Day has a woman. Do they recruit?
No.
Okay, so you think flat out 3's the number?
Mm-hmm.
Just these 3?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Because to add somebody else to it just wouldn't be right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he's said a lot. It's got to be right. Everything's got to be right. And I think everything's going to be right.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be right.
Whether or not I'll have a coronary before then, I can't tell you, but
got to be right. So let's talk about you mentioned the comments that Triple H made.
mm-hmm.
Do you have those, or can I pull those up real quick? And
you can pull them up. He, long story short, he talked a lot about Bray's creativity, and he made some really funny references about, his mind kind of being like a tornado. And that he's got so much in his head all at the same time. And the only thing that crossed my mind when I listened to that, you remember that story that Kyle told us about how he started working with Bray, and he sent him like a bazillion text messages all at once, and then he said, "I'll call you later," and then he didn't hear from him for weeks.
mm-hmm.
And that was the only thing I could think of when Triple H said that. I was like, Kyle can relate. And even though I haven't spent a lot of in-person time with him, I can relate.
Yeah.
His mind is kind of all over the place. And, Triple H mentioned, not necessarily, he mentioned a harness, but I don't necessarily think that was the right word. I think Bray needs somebody that appreciates his creativity, that's going to let him run with things, but someone that can also focus him. And I think that's what he meant by talking about, Bray being harnessed, and I think Triple H is the perfect person to do that. They're friends, they know each other well, so Twister Bray. So I think Triple H is that perfect person. And I think that might have been where it kind of fell off with Vince. I don't think Vince understood his vision.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people just don't get it. But I think Triple H gets it. I think he understands Bray's vision and what he's trying to do and what he wants to say. He's just got to have somebody to keep him focused.
Yeah.
On one thing at a time
Yeah.
because his mind it's a beautiful thing, but it's always going 600 miles a minute. Like there's so much going on in his head all at the same time. And sometimes his mouth catches up with his brain and he just talks. And sometimes it doesn't even make any sense, but it makes sense to him. So I think, yeah, I really think Triple H is going to be that person to focus him.
Yeah. And I think I want to read the quote, and then I want to share something a little bit about things I've seen backstage and with people that I know in the business and going through the creative process, just kind of what I observe and think. But uh Triple H said, one of the most, and I mean this in the best way possible, crazy creative people I've ever been around. Mine just never stops thinking of creative, but it's like being in a whirlwind of stuff. So without the harness and without someone to point the tornado, it's just all over the place. He's a victim of his own mind and creative, but I love working with him. And notice, and people pointed this out too. He said,
I love
working
working with him.
Like I love
I loved working with him.
working with him. It was I love working with him. Okay, so that make of that what you will. But
But he's right. I
he's
mean,
right.
you can even if you've only met Bray once, you can relate to that. You
Yeah.
know, you gotta focus the tornado.
And that's not a bad thing. And I think when it comes to creative people,
hmm
whether it's actors, musicians, um, writers, heck, even in my field of being in marketing, you're all over the place.
hmm I run a psych hospital. I see that every single
You see
day.
it every day. I mean,
Yeah.
you're all over the place because you always have ideas.
hmm
And I think, just to kind of decipher what Triple H was saying there is it's not necessarily to put the brakes on Bray or to take away that those creative juices, but
hmm
it's to take those creative juices and point them in a singular direction with focus.
hmm
And if you can pour all that creativity into one lane as opposed to three different lanes, or, I got these three lanes, but I've also got these side tracks that I want to go down to. If you can focus it on that one lane and
hmm
pour all of that into putting everything into that story or that piece that you're writing or that piece that you're working on creatively as an artist or, a graphic design person, then the possibilities are endless.
hmm
And I've known people in the business, I've seen this where they have a character and you don't want it to get stale. So you always want to add layers to that character. You want to add different things, little nuances that people can say, "Oh, that's new," or, "Oh, that's a little bit different. I wonder why they did that."
hmm
And sometimes you can become a victim of your own creativity because you add in too many things instead of continuing to evolve what's working.
hmm
So I think that's what he was saying, but I've seen other people go through it in the business where it's like, I'm trying to come up with something new, and it's like, well, what's broken about what you're doing?
Right.
When you add small wrinkles to it, not completely overhaul it,
hmm
and and make it what you want it to be. So I just wanted to share that from like a behind the Joe saying onions. Yep.
I mean,
Um,
and that could be what Triple H wants to do with Bray, and why there's a possibility that I think we might get a darker Wyatt family because it wasn't broken. As much as we love the Fiend and Funhouse Bray, Wyatt family wasn't broken.
right, right. It wasn't. It wasn't.
It was perfect.
Yeah. So well done. So well done. Mark saying, however, Jody and Jeff, there are reports out there about Freddie Prinze Jr. Yes, that there's potentially a brand new promotion um that offered Bray reportedly a contract to be with the startup wrestling promotion. Now, I will say this. If you're starting a wrestling promotion, your money's got to be kind of long. And for your first talent to go after Windham Rotunda, your money's got to be real long. So I'm just saying.
I
I'm just
think
saying.
me personally, I think that what Triple H said in the press conference after Clash at the Castle, um, I think it really let the fans know that he hears them. And I think he listens to what people want. And I think, and Bray would probably agree with me to give hella credit to the fans because we haven't shut up. He's been gone over a year and we won't shut up. And I think, me personally, I think Triple H listened. And I think Bray is an incredibly intelligent person. I think he adores his fans. And I think to an extent, he wants to not give us what we want, but he wants to make us happy too. So I think Triple H listened, and I think they might have come to some kind of agreement.
Yeah. Deanna saying Triple H has been good about listening and knowing his audience.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And like I said, credit to the fans
yeah,
because we've kept on talking about him for a year and we've kept on chanting his name and tagging WWE and stuff and talking about bringing Bray back and that we want him back. And, I, I think our voices collectively have been deafening.
yeah, absolutely. Corey saying, I got a theory, Alexa Bliss, don't you do it, device. Recent talk recently talked to Triple H about wanting to take her new dark character to the next level. And he said he's going with it. What do you think about that? I think it will be awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
I definitely think that um, she would do really good with a dark character.
yeah, she would. She would. Wrestling Lane, do you think when Braun comes back, he mentions Bray?
I think we might get some cryptic words that don't directly mention Bray, but give hints to the Wyatt family.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's definitely a possibility. Like I said, I think, if Braun returns tonight, I think this is going to be the first step in Bray's journey back.
Gotcha. Gotcha. John G says, do you think Braun will bring Bray and Rowan back tonight?
I don't think it'll be tonight. I think this is going to be a slow burn.
Slow burn. Slow. Take it slow. Take it slow. Let's see here. Timbo saying he'll be happy if you just get a tease today.
And I think
Good.
I would say 97% confident.
Okay.
There's
Will
always
says,
that little doubt in the back of your mind,
yeah, just a
that
little bit.
nothing may happen tonight, but I definitely think that we're gonna see something from him soon.
Yeah. Will says, I love how Triple H talked about Bray and Sasha. That would never happen with Vince. Big Dan saying Triple H is a good mix of old school and modern products. I'm very confident in WWE under his regime.
I mean, and look at what he did with Clash at the Castle.
Oh my gosh.
It's not common. It's been a long time since they've been able to tell stories through wrestling, through the matches, and the moves in the matches telling as much of a story as what you say on the mic. And I think Triple H with that pay-per-view nailed it. Like, you were invested in every single match.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Oh boy, Big Dan thinking about the big term, the long-term things. He's saying, I'll tell you something else. With Halloween ends and Chucky coming this fall to Peacock, NBC, Universal, they might jump at the chance to bring Bray back during spooky season. And that deserves a Randy Sam says Bray is a genius man, future Hall of Famer. He knows what he's doing. Like you just hear, Hunter said Bray wants this and more of that we need in the wrestling business. Yeah, we need more of this.
And we know Bray. He's methodical, he's careful, he is intentional, and nobody else is like that. Everything he does is like I said, it's methodical, it's careful, it's intentional, it's planned. Yes, very, very calculated.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And he's a man of his word.
Jeff Samuels saying, you see it with Triple H's vision. We got Imperium back. Sheamus might go face, and also we get factions back in wrestling. They're doing a lot with factions right now, and
perfect time to bring in a Dark Wyatt family.
Yeah, because you don't have you do have a dark one in Judgment Day, but you don't have. I don't think they can bring the level of darkness that you could do with a Wyatt family or whatever they decide to call themselves if they all return. Yeah, Richard saying Wyatt family versus Imperium. That would be. I'd love that. Walter and Braun getting those chops.
Ooh,
I'd love to see it. Wrestling Lane. Let's see. If you could use only one word to describe Bray Wyatt, what would it be? That is a great question, and I'm going to throw that out there to the chat as well. Let Wrestling Lane know one word. You could only use one word. What would you use to describe Bray Wyatt? That's a good one. Hanzo says genius.
Intentional. That's my word.
Okay. James saying genius. Big Dan saying brilliant. Chris saying calculated. Creative from James Chadwick. Brilliant says Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809. Jeremy Stewart saying greatest. Let's see here. Genius says Dalton Riley. Smart says Christopher Segoya. Creative says Rare Kitty Balloonicorn. Genius says Deanna. Visionary says Sean.
I like that.
I love that. I love that. Talent says Corey. Keep that. Yes, absolutely. My word, I can't really have a word. T says Deanna.
Yeah.
Revolutionary says Shane Loki. What's up, Jeffrey? How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. A lot of good answers too. A lot of good words that you guys threw back. And Jody, yours was
Intentional.
intentional. Um, Tazzy asking for a like spike party. Cryptic says Mark. Genius says Randy. Cal is just saying, I hope he's coming back. I agree. I agree with that. Um,
I I think he will.
yeah.
I
So
don't I don't know for sure, but I think he will.
do you think he will? So as we wrap up this episode, got about 7 minutes to go, a little bit less because both of us, we're human beings and people need bathroom breaks and to eat and stuff like that.
I need
And
a
we have
snack.
we have another stream coming up, at 7:45 Eastern. So join us on this channel for Raw Watch Along. Hanzo saying hero. That yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um okay. So people are hype right now. See wrestling. I'm like PCO, man. I'm not human. I'm not human. Um Deanna saying I think something dark is on the horizon. Um
I think things are percolating.
Percolate. Yes. Yes. They
I think
are.
the water is just starting to boil.
Yes. Now, I have a question for you. I have a question for the chat. When he returns, and we're saying when at this point, he's going to return somewhere.
Somewhere.
When he returns, are you going to scream or will you just be there with your mouth wide open like OMG?
Both. There might be some tears in there.
Tears of joy.
Yes.
James Chadwick says pass out.
I think there'll be some stunned silence in there first,
Yeah.
followed by the screaming.
Yeah. James Grant says, everyone be aware. If Wyndham shows up tonight, Abby will lose her mind. Same for me.
And then I would cry.
Yeah.
I'm already getting tears in my eyes
Just thinking about it, right?
just thinking about it. So
Um,
there will definitely be some tears in there.
yeah. A lot of people saying shock. Yeah. Joe saying it'll break the internet. Richard Bird saying I see it happening at Extreme Rules, and I think I see a Buccaneers flag on your
Oh dear.
profile. So
We
just
haven't
know
started our friendly rivalry yet.
that's true. That's true. So I like you. I like you already.
Oh, sorry. Instinctual reaction.
Yeah.
We're only enemies for 2 games. It's
For
okay.
2 games. That's it.
Just
That's
2
it.
games.
Yeah. Joe says, and the merch will be directly on WWE Shop after so get the money ready.
Randy saying Pat McAfee selling will be oh my gosh.
Yeah. Pat Mac, yeah.
Can you imagine Pat McAfee's reaction?
Yeah, that'll be
oh gosh.
outstanding.
I would pay to see that.
James Chadwick dropping some not that. Wrong one. Boom. Dropping some breaking news. Saying Sean Rothap said could be hints tonight at a return, but didn't say who.
I think it's gonna be Braun.
Okay.
Like
All
I
right.
said, I think it's gonna be a slow burn. I don't
Slow
think they're
burn.
I don't think they're all gonna show up at once. I think this is going to be methodical.
Yeah. Yeah. So be patient. I know we've all been patient. I'll caution you against believing everything that's out there. Just go along for the ride.
What I can say with 100% certainty is that it will be perfect.
Yes. Yes. Um, it will be. It will be perfect. See Wrestling says, what if they're with Dexter and that's what has Miz so scared?
I don't know.
Hey, hey. Um,
Definitely possible.
yeah, it's possible. Deanna says, I mean, if you want to kill us, they all come out together.
I know. And
Yeah.
Joe kind of just said it too. It might not even see Braun. It could just be a hint of Braun. Like I said, I think this is going to be a slow burn
Mm-hmm.
to having him come back, but I think it starts tonight.
Yep. Any final words? That was really good. But any final words before we go?
It always, hour always goes by so fast.
I know it does. It does. Um, but
that,
yeah,
that's my final word. I don't think we see Bray tonight, but I think tonight starts the train.
okay. And
I have no idea how, but I
yeah,
think tonight is the start.
tonight is the start. Okay. On that note, folks, please, 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 please come back and join us for our Raw watch along at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in just 45 minutes, come back and join us. And I'd love to see everyone that's here right now. We've got like 85 people. So come back and join us for Raw, and hopefully we'll have some good stuff tonight. I think it's going to be a good episode of Raw. I just have a feeling.
Me too.
Have a really good feeling about it. So come back and join us. Jody, this was a lot of fun. Always is. And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see you in 45 minutes. But if not, we're here on Thursday for Impact, for our watch along for Impact. That's been really good. Continues to be one of the most consistent shows out there. And then we'll be here again on Sunday for our show Between the Ropes with the Insiders. And yeah, it will be rebranded this week, so it'll be ready with the new logos and everything. And I'm working on stuff for Abby's too. I'm working on stuff for the whole channel. So just, yeah, yeah, just know that. So thank you all for joining us. Come back and join us here in a little bit, and we will see you next time on another episode of Abby's Window.